E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā kārangatanga o te motu, tēnā koutou katoa, ko whakatiri te wake tōku ingoa. Nau mai, haere mai, and welcome on this journey as we head out and talk to Māori mana whenua artists from Tamaki Makaurau who are on a mission to decolonise spaces across Tamaki Makaurau. We'll talk to them, they'll uncover their stories, their histories and their narrative in a bid to increase Māori visibility here at Auckland's Waterfront. Tēnā koe, and thank you for having a kōrero with us today. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Kia ora. First of all, could you just explain to us, ko wai koe, no ke a koe?
Ko Janine Williams, tōku ingoa. Ko Ngāti Pāwa, rawa ko Ngāti Whātua ki Kaipara, ōku iwi. No Tamaki Makaurau, takukanga noho. So, yeah, kia ora.
You're an artist. Could you just explain to us a little bit about your artistry?
Yes, interesting multidisciplinary artist, I'd say. Work street art, contemporary design, commercial design. Yeah, so a bit of a mash of things, creative.
And you've got a few pieces around here on the waterfront. I want to talk to you specifically about the toroa or the albatross. What inspired you to do that piece?
The silo design was created in a partnership for placement during the America's Cup. But it was actually, for myself, I'd pushed the idea of creating an artwork that championed Indigenous navigation or Māori navigation history. And so, yeah, the idea of working with our manu that have an association with the moana and all of our kōrero around that, waka haunui and all of that collaboration created one digital work that I project managed. And then my husband Charles, who also we work full time, he painted those particular manu, and then we scanned and incorporated them into the larger design. So they're actually paintings on a digital design work, but all about championing, I guess, a Māori presence.
Especially in a time like the America's Cup where the waterfront would have just been packed with people. How important or how significant is it for you as a Māori artist to have your artwork on display so widely? It's really humbling to be, I guess, working in a time where that is becoming normalised or championed, which I think is a privilege, because I know that many creatives and Māori artists who have pushed and paved the way to prepare a space for us to come in this generation. That was a really hard road. So to be able to do that, it's not really just about my artwork or our artwork. This is like, look, Māori art can be in one of the most developed cities in the world. We just need to work in partnership to create those opportunities. So I was, super thankful for that. So, yeah. Would you say it's almost like decolonising the space?
Nice. Yes, I would. I mean, it is, and I think it's reminding those who visit and even those who live here the local, place history. And what that looked like and what that, where the origins of that actually came from. And, so the art, it's an artwork, but it's more of the story and the narrative that I'm really, particularly drawn to expressing, and having, the ability to talk about the mahi is just as important as this giant artwork sitting on a silo.
So when people engage with your mahi toi, what are you hoping that they get out of it?
Connection, identity. I would hope when you walk past that you feel like you belong to that work, and that's just because the different thing about being an artist with a Māori worldview is that you are storytelling. You're telling something other than just you, and it's not just here's my artwork, it's on the art gallery wall, buy it because I'm an amazing artist. I'm not saying that's how artists think, but I mean this is far beyond that. For me that's really important, that connection. If someone walked past something and saw a design, it's like, I've seen that on my marae, or I've seen that I didn't know that was in an urban space, and that's the artwork as much, that connection. So yeah.
How important is it
just thinking about your artistry, how important is it for Māori and for rangatahi to see themselves reflected in your mahi?
That is why we do what we do. So the importance is, 100%. Like for someone who's always lived in Auckland, who's Māori, my mum is Māori and my dad was Pākehā, growing up in Otara, never, finding that sense of identity and then discovering it as you get older. A lot of younger urban Māori kids are living in cities and feel a little disconnected, whether it's to a traditional space or their marae or even whānau in general. So for an artwork to be able to create some sense of presence, that is a super important thing to me growing up in a city, because walking around I didn't see who I was when I was looking around. Like I didn't walk up Queen Street and feel like I should be there, whereas I would hope that rangatahi, and we have 4 kids of our own, would walk through here and go, oh, that story's connected to my koro or a Tāmaki tribe, and that should be normal. Yeah, so it's super important to me, yeah.
So you're actually a part of a group of artists who work in collaboration with developers here on the waterfront. Tell us about that, Mahi.
Yeah, it's really unique. Like with my husband Charles, we travel quite a lot around the world doing our mahi and painting and working with different governments or councils and things like that. And it's really rare to see, I guess, an acknowledgement first of Indigenous people, and also the willingness to collaborate. That's, it's not something that you see a lot of. So to be here in Auckland and to work with developers and commercial, developments and Pānuku and different, all the organisations that are trying to make that happen, that partnership, I find exciting and encouraging, because, people like, organisations like Pānuku or council have gone, actually this is important, and actually we're going to start focusing on that. And so, that value in the mahi gets transferred over to these developers who are building these spaces, and that collaborative approach, opens opportunities for us, not as just artists, but as Māori. Like I think that's great. Like I would hope to see that more, and even just, experiencing that from a design level from the ground up, not just the last stage, has been great, to create a concrete facade on a commercial building and have that as a permanent artwork. You would not have imagined that for myself 10 years ago, because it would have been, could you just come in and stick a painting on the back wall and tick the box, like Māori inclusion, where now it's like, actually we want that in the DNA of our development. And I think that is a really unique, beautiful thing that we should celebrate more and actually use as leverage. I think of arts tourism, and I think of all these commercial arts tourism collabs that happen around the world. We could actually be doing that here, so yeah.
Thank you for your kōrero. It's been awesome talking to you today. Ngā mihi nei. Tāmaki makaurau, tāmaki he renga waka. You've heard from our artists, you've got a taste of what they have to offer. Now it's time for you to come down to the Auckland waterfront and experience it. Nō reira kei aku rangatira nau mai, haere mai.